Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are live here at MLE, and we are ready for prime time Saturday. I'm Squid, joined by Classy, and there's nobody I'd rather have next to me, honestly, to cast these couple of series. I'm going to be out before the final game goes on this evening, but we got some great matches for you. How you doing, Classy?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't wait. 3 series this evening, and they all look like pretty great teams. What do you say?
Obviously, I mean, there are no teams in the MLE that I would consider not great, to be perfectly honest, but that's just my opinion. Per usual, you know, we love seeing this Rocket League action. A great day one of RLCS as well. If anybody out there watched that, I had a great time watching it personally. There's some great banter going on with the community, but we got to look forward to our first match, and obviously we're always looking forward to our first match. A series of 5 between the Shadow and Lightning, and oh boy, we got a bit of a matchup right here. Shadow is sitting at the number 4 spot with an 11-4 record. Lightning, the number 32, have not had a win yet, unfortunately. 0-15 here in week number 4. Goal differential of -34, unfortunately, but they're always seeking for that one. That's what we like. We like tenacity. They're here and they're ready to play.
Most definitely. We're going to see if they can break that Shanghai Dragons curse. We've all seen it before, but there is no better time than now. So Shadow's definitely the favorites in here, but anything can happen in Rocket League. So
yeah, it definitely can. Before we get into the match, we're going to have a little bit of a map intro for you. It's going to be Starbase Arc for tonight. Take a look. And with that out of the way, we're here and we are ready. This series of 5 between the Shadow and the Lightning about to be underway. And let's get right into this one. Euronate and Void for the Shadow. The Lightning opening up with a demo is Soft and then Magnus to join him. Seeing if they can get their first win or potentially series win of the season here in week number 4. Magnus taking out one as well. Euronate getting bumped at the top of the box there. Looking to take possession. An awkward possession right there. Void gonna push this one upfield, looking for a bump. There's nobody to be found, though. Magnus will be able to clear that one away. Euronate playing a little bit defensively in that posture. Lightning not yet punished for it. Moving downfield, gonna take a speculative shot at net from over top of the midfield line, but nothing doing.
yeah, we see a lot of coming out first from Lightning, which is good. You like to see that eagerness. And right there, it pays off as well. I'm not sure if that was completely intentional by Magnus, but all he does here is pop it up in the corner, and that's it. Maybe a little bit of an aerial fake. The defender thinking you get one more touch on it, but it just slowly rolls in. Not the kind of goals we usually see in the Champions League, but they'll count those. And now Lightning, the 0-15, take the first goal and hopefully the first game.
As I like to say, it's not necessarily the coincidence of how the ball went in. It's just that it did. So there you go, Lightning up by 1. Lots of demos on their side of the ball so far. I think that makes 3. Magnus with a shot towards the net. Will be able to get that one underneath the Euronate, and they're up by 2.
There you go. That one's a lot more beautiful. Going up for this top down. Magnus getting the angle all the way to the bottom. Seeing that Euronate was on the top post, so we need to put it underneath the defender. Great placement. And I honestly am seeing all Lightning right now. This is a lot bigger spectacle than I thought it'd be coming from the 32nd seed.
Well, you can call it a lightning storm at this point in time, but still nothing set in stone. 4 minutes left of the match. The Shadow had plenty of time to try and make some sort of comeback, and this one's moving in front of the net. Stop will be there to touch it away. Move it a little bit downfield in their favor. Euronate's going to get that save, but only over to Magnus. Puts it off the back wall. Saw playing a little bit, not very aggressively, but he will get the shot on net. Euronate is there to make the save. Plenty of pressure from the Lightning, and another shot. Magnus off the crossbar. Void's going to be able to come across and put that one away. A close call for the Shadow.
Yeah, my goodness, this is all offense on the side of Lightning. We haven't seen any defense or saves from the blue side just because it's been in the black half this entire time. I love this pressure. I hope this keeps up for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. This is not what I was expecting when I looked at these stat pages and saw 32 versus number 4. I kind of expected it to be a bit more of a one-sided match, but it's in favor of the black side. Not necessarily for the Lightning, but hey, they came out to play, and they do have the lead. As we pass the 3-minute mark, and they're going to add another one to that one with a shot of the midfield.
Man, I'm thinking Lightning's offense is really coming out, and we see a great shot here from So from about midway between the goal and midfield. But it just seems like Shadow is not playing how we'd think they would. They're not being as aggressive, being a lot more conservative, and they're not pushing those kind of balls. They need to be up for those, make the 50-50 challenge, because if you can let those be free shots on net with that much power, you can put it wherever you want, and it makes it very difficult to save.
It does indeed. And maybe for the Shadow, they're coming into this match, maybe thinking, okay, well, they're the number 32 seed. Well, you still gotta give them respect. You can't just try and play whatever you want to do, because they are going to pose a legitimate threat. They're here for a reason in the Champion League, and they're proving it. As we pass the half, they have a 3-0 lead against the Shadow. Magnus and So really doing work. And Bump not quite as effective as they would have liked. It'll move into the corner. Urinate will force this one up high, looking for maybe a pass in the midfield. No contact made, though. Boyd beats Magnus to that ball. Nice bump on So as well. They're not going to be able to make much out of this, but a possession, maybe Urinate. Actually, with a demo, Magnus will push it off his own back wall. Very intelligent play, finding that one little bit where he can send it away safely. They're not out of the woods yet. Urinate going to take a quick shot on net. So there to meet it, and they're moving down the other way.
There's that pressure. We finally see it from Shadow, and now it seems like they're maintaining possession quite a bit more. The question is it too late? They only have 2 minutes to get 3 goals in the back of the net, and this defense is still holding strong for Lightning.
Strong defense indeed. You remarked earlier that they didn't really have to play too much defense, at least in the first half of the game. They look pretty solid so far on their own half of the field. 90 seconds now remain for the Shadow to put 3 on. 3 or more, potentially, as this one will drop into the zone. Easy touch for Magnus off to the side. You're going to see what he can do with this one. 40 boost. No touch made there, but he will be able to screw with the opponents just a tad bit. Nice touch there off the dunk from Void. And So we'll be able to dodge the demo as well. It's moving down the other way. They're going to get punished for that one. Void will make the save, but it's still in the box. So right underneath of him and gets the 4th one.
Yeah, it's just a bit too much aggression from Shadow. You got a minute left. You're down by 3. You kind of need to go for that. Great save by Void. But once again, So is right there to follow it up. You're too far on the blue side to get back in time to save it. And that's going to be one more, and I'm not going to jinx it, but I think this might be the breaker for Lightning and get them some points on the winning side of their record. Maybe make it 1-15. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mentioned they have a 34. Their goal differential is actually negative 34. So this is a big game for them, honestly. Like, this is not what we expected at all. As you mentioned, it's looking like a game win for them with the last 45 seconds now ticking off the clock. They've been so good this game. Shot differential definitely in their favor. They're looking for another one. So is a free net. He's got to stick that one every day of the week. And the shot margin 10-2 in favor of the Lightning.
I'm not sure what this was. Void with a complete whiff. Might have been a fake out by Magnus, but still, you got to make those plays in the corner. If you can't, you want to stay back in net. In that case, not at all what Shadow was looking for on defense. And even though there are a few mistakes on Shadow, it's a lot of just Lightning being very consistent on that offense, making the touches they need to. Not playing anything too flashy, just being there when they need to, hitting the balls accurately and with power.
Great speed as well. They seem to be wherever they need to be at the right time. Save getting bumped. Magnus not going to be able to touch that one, but it might be a little bit of an empty miss right there. So we'll be able to get back in time, earn himself a savior medal with that one right there. The final 10 now ticking off the clock, and the Shadow definitely going to be taking a loss here. A savior medal now for both of the Lightning players, and a fantastic game overall. So, ending with 3 goals, 2 assists, 3 saves, 5 shots, and oh my goodness, the rest go to Magnus, and that's still quite a hefty number of stats. Lightning with a 5-0 victory in game number 1. They had their first win of the season in games, and now they're looking to take the series as well.
This was just an amazing show by Lightning, this first game. I'm talking about how demoralizing it might be coming into this 4th week. All 15 games you played, you lost. That's got to be tough on your team. But then coming in against the 4th seed in your division, and you beat them. You shut them out, even, with a 5-0 win, super commanding. You did great on all sides of the field. I think Lightning should feel very proud about how they played in that game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Obviously, a shutout, even. I mean, coming off of that, you were talking about, oh, sure, it's their first win of the season, but it wasn't a close call either. It wasn't like, okay, we had to fight for it overtime. It was a straight shutout. They had control of that game for the longest time. So huge props to the Lightning. And again, I'm looking to see if they can turn that into a series win. I mean, if they win all 5 here, that's going to be massive. That's going to add 5 losses to the Shadow. They'll be 11-9 if that does happen. has not quite happened yet. The Lightning with 5-15, obviously still a losing record, but it's a great way to get on the path to victory in the end. Try to make your way to the playoffs. Of course, it's only week 4, so there's still time for change, and the Lightning have done exactly that here in game number 1. Game number 2 now on the horizon. 5 minutes on the clock. We're about ready for this one. I think So and Magnus are looking to take another win out of this. Let's get right underway with the kickoff. Magnus and Void going at it, and it will go in the blue team's favor. Hero8 gonna drop that one off in the corner. No boost here, or so we'll have to play it all the way back into his own side. Hero8 in the midfield, gonna keep this one in play, trying to keep it close as well. No touch there from Magnus. Looked like he did want to take possession. I love the idea as well. Trying to keep it away from Hero8, close to himself. That's really the philosophy that's really been getting the Lightning a lot of these goals. Void with a shot here, just a little bit wide of the net, and so will be able to pick up.
Finally, a little bit of momentum, especially early on into this game. Shadow getting a bit of offensive pressure there in the first 30 seconds. And now, kind of seems like both of these teams sitting in their groove. Lightning found it a lot sooner than Shadow, but now this one's going to be a lot closer than the previous one. I can almost guarantee it.
Does seem that way. You're talking about a lot of Shadow offense there in the first minute or so. I tend to agree. It seemed they had a lot more possession. Magnus will get something towards the net, a little bit off the mark. Void in the center, great bump, that's 1 minute out of the plate, Soft can't finish it off, Magnus is still there, a great bump on Void, but he was looking for the dunk, and the Lightning will get turned away just before the goal line, and a great interference touch there from Magnus. They might still be in this offense.
Yeah, Magnus, he set that play up, it's so just put it a bit too high, hit that bar, didn't go bar down, but couldn't finish it off still. That's got to be a heartbreaker, because those opportunities aren't handed to you that easily very often. And then on the other side of the field, we see Shadow take their first goal of the series. A little bit of a bump there, a little awkward, but Euro8 coming in clutch, seeing that So pushed way too far forward, got the touch and the flick. Power is what needed was on that shot. And they finally get on the board and now take the lead in game 2. Maybe their momentum's building just a bit more.
Indeed, a massive drought it was for the Shadow, and now Magnus with an excellent opportunity there. Euro8 will save it, but Soft is right there to put it right behind him. No way you're going to be able to save that one.
Yeah, right back answered. Beautiful. Magnus putting a shot on net, making Euro8 save it, but by then he's already all the way to the far post, and Soft is going to put that one home. Good rotation on offense, even though Shadow was there to block it. You keep hammering him, keep rotating back and putting shot after shot. A response like that quickly in the first 10 seconds puts it tied up once again.
Again, with the Lightning's current standings, it's very good that they're able to get back into this game as quickly as they did. But they're in a bit of an awkward spot here. Void will send that one up high, looking for the follow as well. Nothing doing there. Euro8's going to keep it in play. Magnus, the last man back now, has to buy some time. Actually gets a pass one, gets bumped out by Euro8, though a good bump. Spinning him out, will allow for another attack run. As we pass the 3-minute mark, Shadow looking to take the lead off of this offense, but it just it keeps getting killed in the corner. Finally, they'll have it out. A good air dribble, but couldn't quite get it past Euro8 to put it on target. As we approach the half now, Shadow looking to make another attack run on the blue side of the ball. Here we go, Magnus and Soft looking for a pinch, nothing doing there. They will find a little bit of advancement up the field, and this has really been what the Lightning have been trying to do. The last couple of, it seems like the last minute or so now, just trying to move the ball downfield. A quality shot here, just underneath the crossbar in the upper 90. That is some great placement.
Man, so this pass was beautiful, knowing it was too far out for Euro8 to make a challenge, but that shot could have been placed better. Upper 90 in the left corner. Well done for Lightning. 2 unanswered, and now they have the lead. Once again, very surprising from the previous 0-15 team.
Previous, not current, though. But here's going to be a free one for Euro8, winning that 50-50 with Magnus rather easily. And they'll tie that one up rather easily.
That is not how you want to get your kickoff going as well. Get solid rotation. You want to get that rotation set in the defense, especially when Shadow is pushing. But in that case, the 50-50 didn't go well, and whenever you push high, that's going to be a goal for you. In this case, Shadow, and they're tied up once again. Beautiful play by Lightning, and then a quick response by Shadow, and now we're tied up. This, not the pros Rocket League that we've seen, but still very close, a lot closer than game 1.
That one was almost rolling in front of the Shadow net. Magnus was looking for a demo. A fantastic idea with those bump plays. Something we saw very much of in game number 1. has lightened up here in number 2, but Uronate might have an opportunity to put this one on target. Great stop from Magnus. Not going to let that one go without a fight. Now looking for options the other way. A 50-50 from Uronate, and we're seeing a lot of play from behind, working on the defensive end for both these teams so far. The sidewall. Soft going to get a shot on net, but not much power behind it. Pop up from Magnus goes to Uronate, looking for Void downfield. It's going to be a bit of an awkward redirect, and they're not going to quite get that one on target. Tie game here. Shadow looking to take the lead. Quality pass there. Uronate has to force onto the midfield line, though. Magnus doesn't gain possession of that one as nicely as he'd like. Will take it back into his own corner. Lots of lost ground on that play. That one's pitched towards the net. His teammate will be there to shut it down, but the Lightning really want to push out of their own half right about now. It seems like a lot of chances that they had to take possession just ended up rolling off to the corner.
Yeah, they don't seem as clean as they were in game 1. Maybe the nerves got to him a little bit now that Shadow's scoring a bit more, seeing what kind of a team that the black team really is. But they are getting a lot of chances, and those chances will eventually result in goals, so I don't think they should feel too discouraged at this point.
Definitely not. Final 30 seconds now, approaching rapidly. Soft with a favorable touch there up to Magnus. They will find a gap on the left side. Boy, can't quite make it. They have the lead.
That was beautiful. Another great aerial, this time by Magnus. Adjusting his car midair to get on the right side of it to put it far left, because Void was waiting near post as he should, but instead slowed his car down a bit too much. Magnus, noticing that empty space in the bottom left, nails it, perfectly placed, and now almost tied up, but Lightning maintains the lead.
Last time it got tied up, kickoff goal, and they weren't exactly satisfied with that, so they made sure to shut it down this time. A great demo from Soft. Boyd's out of the play. Uronate the only man, but he's going to be able to put it on target. Fantastic save coming across. Now the final 10. Pinch idea did not work out there. Urionate's going to be forced to the midfield line. Void, no touch made. It's all the way to the other end. Uronate desperately keeping it up. Can he turn in time? He has it on the hood of his car, but only for a second. Lightning have their second win of the series and the season. They are looking pretty good.
Man, that was a very different game than game 1, but we still got to see both offense and defense from Lightning. I was a little bit unsure about the Lightning team coming into game 2 because we only saw their offense with a 5-0. There was only offense from the blue team and not a lot from Shadow's offense. And now that we see 2 goals scored by the Shadow, we know that they got that rolling a little bit more. But what I really wanted to test was to see if Lightning could hold their own, blocking it, getting those saves, and transitioning back to defense and not getting caught off guard. And it seemed like Lightning did that perfectly well. It was a lot closer. It was a 1-point game going up there at the end. Very close. But they needed to make a lot of crucial saves. And we saw both Soft and Magnus do just that. They definitely earned this second game. And now they're looking like a lot better team than 32nd seed, especially against number 4 Shadow. So well done with them. We'll see if they can take the series in the next game.
So for the Lightning, yeah, definitely a good job from both their players, no doubt about that. Plenty of participation on both ends of the ball. 100% goal participation for both those players. It looks like we got a match that's concluded there, so we're going to get the server up and running for just a second here. But now Lightning, only one more game to take this series. Do you think they're going to be able to hold on to it much longer? Because we went from a 5-0 victory to a 3-2 victory barely in regulation. I mean, they only scored, and I think it was the last minute to take the lead. So tough stuff to be certain. But I don't know. I feel like they can, but there's a couple of times when I watch Magnus play, he just gets like this wonderful opportunity to take control of the ball, and he ends up just accidentally going a little bit around it, and it opens up a lot of space for the Shadow to take advantage of that. When you're playing against the number 4 seed, that's a space you don't want to get. Fortunately, they didn't lose the game because of it, and they haven't yet. But it's just something I want to see them clean up personally.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have seen quite a few mistakes from Lightning, especially on the defense, and that is a fair point. But I do believe their offense is still coming on strong, and possession is a huge thing in my book. If you can possess the ball a lot more and actually make those possessions mean something, in this case it was 3 goals in the last game, then that's what's going to make the difference. So if they can keep possession of the ball and get a lot of shots on the defense of Shadow, like they did in the previous 2 games, I think they've got a shot to keep taking it to this number 4 seed. So Lightning definitely has a shot here coming up as we enter Game 3.
Game number 3 in a deciding match. Let's find out here. Will Lightning take this series, or is it the Shadow going to start a little bit of resistance here? Boyd has switched over to the Dominus. Very sleek looking, almost as a double tap right off the bat. That would have been a show starter. Didn't quite find it. But things happen. Fortunately, not much you can do about that one. Soft moving downfield now. Magnus almost in charge of the bump play right there. 30 boost still has a shot, and there it is. Won't be quite enough to push it past the defenders, but they're starting out on offense. A great demo as well. Void will be able to clear it all the way downfield, though. Buy a little bit of time for Urinate to respawn and get set up for an offense. Got a tough spot there. Or Soft. We're able to force it off to the side. No touch there from Magnus. Urinate going to try and cut in on it. A good speed coming across. Gonna keep that one out. Bit of a double coming from the shadow. Could open up a spot here. Soft's gonna push it downfield. Urinate to inherit. Pass both of the players. Maybe not enough respect on that play. Magnus and Soft both push it up a little bit far on that ball. Kind of left it straight for Urinate to get it over both of them. Back into the blue corner. Great 50-50 from Urinate. Void's in the center waiting for it. Soft with the interference. Very nicely played. Magnus now with full boost. Can do a lot with this right here. Over top of Urinate, but gets taken out for his efforts. Soft is going to be in charge of the follow-up now. No boost here for Void. Can't get it past Magnus. Lightning slowly pushing onto the offensive end. Looking for a bump. Did not read Urinate right. Thought he was going to jump. No such luck. Soft will keep it playable. But so far, the first minute and a half, relatively uneventful in terms of shots. Only one so far, and it favors the Lightning.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of shadow offense personally. I mean, apparently the stats don't reflect that. The black team has had the ball a lot more, and it seems that Lightning's been on their back heels. Haven't conceded a goal just yet. But as I say that, cursed them, had to do it. Second I say it, Urinate puts one in the back of the net. Shadow, once again, scores first like we saw in game 2. It's just going to be whether Lightning can maybe get a little bit of possession of their own. But this hammering by that offense, 2 minutes in, they're eventually going to break. And Lightning does just that. Concedes, and now they are 1 down as we approach the final 30 minutes.
Definitely not the ideal situation for the Lightning, but we've seen them score more than that every single time. A quality shot there, Soft will be able to meet it. They need a little bit of a push out, but they've got plenty of time to do so. Just under 3 minutes remain here in game number 3. The Lightning have to come back by just 1. Score at least 2 to win this game and this series. Into the blue corner now, Urinate. Trying to make something out of this. Looking towards the center off the back wall. Gonna be shut down rather easily by Soft as he takes possession all the way downfield. Grabs a side boost as well. This could turn into something very dangerous if the Shadow aren't careful. Boyd will drop it off in the corner. Magnus, the actionable player on the ball, looking for the center. No such luck. Urinate's gonna be quick on that one. They've been shutting down everything for the Lightning so far. It feels like there haven't been any threatening presences from the Lightning on the offensive end.
Yeah, they have had possession. They've put it in the black side, but they can't get those passes going, those infield passes. They can't even get it out of the corner just because that pressure is so high from Shadow. This is kind of the gameplay I was expecting to see from the first 2 games, but now we're finally getting to see a little of it here in game 3.
Here we go. Great shot. Oh my goodness, what an angle from Soft. Holy cow, that is a way. That is a good way to tie up the game. Look at this off the corner wall. And Urinate was not expecting that one. Upper corner. He's done this twice now.
Man, we don't see a whole lot of opportunities like we were talking about, but the one that we do see, Off is able to capitalize on. Great solo play by him coming off the sidewall, and he had to get that angle too above the defender, but not so high you hit the backboard. It's a much harder shot than it looks, folks, let me tell you. Well done, and we are all tied up once again. Finally breaking that. Oh my. His own goal. I know you're a little desperate for goals, but you got to put it in the black one.
Yeah, I guess he's just MVP for both sides now. But in all reality, a very tough read for Soft if you're in that spot. And obviously you have Urinate and Void both bearing down on you. So you can understand a little bit of the sense of panic right there. The urge to try and do something with the ball. So unfortunately, they're going to drop down another one right there. A minute and a half now remains. This is going to be a tough one, and Void will have a free net. Soft was unable to do anything with that at the top of the box.
That one was a bit strange. Able to pick up this corner boost, but he didn't even need it just because Soft had pushed up, decided to go for that side boost, and then there's no one in net. Void's just going to click that one in. Not very good rotation, trying to get that as quickly on the kickoff, and we've seen Shadow capitalize off that more times than I've seen in most series, and we're just in game 3.
And now another telltale miss. Soft out of the corner. No contact made, and Urinate going to walk all over you for it. I mean, this is just standard stuff for the Shadow.
Yeah, we talked about their whiffs in the previous few games. They didn't really cost them a whole lot, but this is where they start to fall apart. Shadow is starting to take advantage of a lot more of those whiffs and mistakes from Lightning. And now their lead widens even more if Lightning can't clean up these mistakes.
Indeed, that is the case, and the Shadow coming in with a goal differential of 20. Again, their record 11-4 coming into this match. You know that they're not just going to let it go. Regardless of the fact that you won the first 2 games, they are not going to let it go. You can't just assume that you're going to win. Here's Soft, he gets one. Past Urinate, that demo on Void, definitely key, but they still need 2 more.
And the demo on Void, he happened to spawn back in the same corner that his teammate was in. Whenever you're both in the corner, Soft sees that opening, he's going to carry that right to the net, and you're both on your back heels. Great play by both of the teammates, the demo and the shot. But they're still down by 2. Definitely not a guarantee, especially with only 1 minute left. But if Lightning can get 2 and then the third, this will be their first series win. And that'll be in 3 games as well. Quite impressive from an 0-15.
They've already picked up their first game win. First series win isn't too far off. But that does lie behind a 40-second barrier, and they're going to have to score 2 if they want a chance. To get in, here's Void from the center. Great pass from Urinate past the last man, and there's Void to clean it up. And it's looking like the Lightning might lose out here.
Yeah, we see this all the time in 2v2s. 30 seconds left, you're down by 2, you got to push up. In this case, I would not say it was the greatest challenge on the sidewall. You could have rotated to net, but it would not mean a whole lot. Shadow still had possession. They were going to push that offense anyways. They're just burning time off the clock at this point, which probably means Shadow's going to take this one. We'll be at a 2-1. Still Lightning, still having the advantage.
They will have the advantage, but it will not be a sweep at the very least. But for the Lightning, still got to be hopeful from this one. Hopefully it's not too much a morale hit. Hopefully they weren't just counting on their initial surprise to come out right out of the gate and surprise their opponents into a 3-0 before they continued for the rest of the series of 5. But it's clear that the Shadow pretty well have this one under wraps as far as this series is, or sorry, as far as this game is concerned. Obviously not the series. Tough stuff. I mean, you went from 5-0 to a 3-2, now to a 6-2 loss. So for the Lightning, I mean, there's a lot to clean up from this game.
Yeah, it's mistakes. We talk about that a lot. They did have lots of opportunities. Definitely not going to give it there. Shadow did have pressure, but definitely not as much as we have seen in the past. Not as choking on the offensive side of the field. It's just that Lightning, they had opportunities on offense and defense, and they just couldn't capitalize on a lot of them. They had some good shots, but a lot more bad ones. Just a lot of holes, some whiffs on the defense, and whenever you do that, you're drawing yourself and most likely your teammate out of position just because he expected you to make that touch, and then that's just leaving the goal wide open. Shadow not having to play a whole lot of crazy shots or passes. They're just capitalizing off these mistakes. So Shadow's going to keep hoping on that. I mean, they're playing quite consistently, but this is not the team we saw in the first 2 games. So Lightning's going to want to clean up that a little bit, especially when they only need 1 more in the next 2 to take this series.
Yeah, and you really hit the nail on the head. I feel like the Shadow are getting a lot of opportunities that are mostly opened up by the Lightning. We saw the last goal actually scored was as more of a result of the Lightning just not being there for the play than the Shadow making a good pass in the center. I mean, granted, it was obviously a good pass, but I really don't think that was the reason why they scored. There was just nobody back in the net to make that save, and I feel like they had some pretty solid defensive games 1 and 2. So bring it back, please. I want to see more of that, but, we'll just have to find out. Find out next time on MLE, except next time is right now. We have game 4, 5 minutes on the clock. The Lightning looking for this one last game to take the series, and they're starting out on offense. That's where you start out strong. Urinate will quickly push it to the midfield line, grabs the side boost all the way to the backboard. Where is Void? Not quite behind him. As they're going to play that one a little bit slow. Lightning looking downfield. Magnus going to have to make the save on this ball. Can't quite get the right touch, and Void will secure it before the half minute.
Yeah, we talk about that eagerness, those mistakes. Magnus pushing up too much, but he even could have made a play on the ball, but just whiffs. Instead of going back into the net, Void is able to clean that one up. Not too hard of a shot. We talk about this all the time. Shadow's just able to be consistent enough to make those, and Lightning being so eager on that offensive side, they're not ready for that transition onto D.
Indeed, and a nice shot there from Void. Right off the kickoff, and now an even better one from Salt. No, it's off the crossbar and away. I really thought that was going to be in. Very unfortunate. Well, the Lightning could have very much used that equalizer. But these things happen. Unfortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on it. Now Soft to the side. Magnus actually waited for that one. And Void cut in, took a spot. Now a bit of a double commit on the side here. Soft and Magnus a little bit close to each other. Dangerous positioning. In a doubles environment, great pass from Magnus. Soft will actually manage to get it through off the opponent in.
That was a great play by Magnus, seeing how much space he was given in that corner. Euronate just backing up and saying, hey, I can pop this high and far for my teammate Soft, who's just waiting in the middle. I think Shadow giving him way too much space because Lightning can make some stuff happen on the black side of the field.
They can indeed. I mean, we saw that in game 1 and 2. Game 4 is where they're going to have to really shine, unless they want to face a match point against the situation. Minute 15 gone. Shadow having a little bit of trouble moving on to the offensive right here. Euronate going to backflip on that one. Trying to take possession at his own side. Soft off the back wall. Pass to himself. Euronate with an excellent pre-jump. Gonna get that one away. Magnus trying to keep it alive. Just stalling for time at this point. That one's towards the net. Soft's gonna have to make a save, but it's no problem. Off the sidewall, no follow-up touch. Magnus has to wait for the shot from Euronate, and it will go through. Soft not quite back in time, and they have another.
Yeah, we saw a great opportunity from Lightning, but then Soft, just with the miss off the sidewall and Magnus not expecting it, he was already ready for that transition onto offense. But you can't do that unless your teammate makes that pass, leaves the net wide open, and now Shadow takes the lead. This is not the kind of defense you like to see out of Lightning at all, especially what we saw in the first 2 games. And now, see if they can get some offense of their own. Finally, they're saying, hey, we don't need to quite clean up as much on defense if we can just answer 1 for 1, although that is true. We're still going to remain tied. Lightning ties it up with a great power shot, pushing that high. It's that aggressiveness that they are able to take advantage of. It's just they need to lay off just a little bit. Thus, the opportunities that you want to challenge on. They also need to be wary whenever the Shadow does have possession of the ball, that they need to be a little bit cleaner on their rotations on defense and be ready for that transition back. That's a lot more important than those offensive opportunities.
They really need to show a lot of respect for their opponents as well. Euronate and Void can't be given this kind of space. So, or Soft, my bad, we'll be able to get it away. But when you give them that kind of space, they've got so many options. They could pass or they could shoot. And honestly, either is very threatening when you're the Shadow. A great reception from Euronate off the pass into the midfield. They're going to get an extra one. Lightning down once again.
Magnus here, he had so much space. He could have settled this down, taken it slower, because he saw his teammate who was within his field of view. He was all the way in the opponent's net, couldn't rotate fast enough, and Euronate just reads that shot perfectly, able to catch it and put it on net. Not only a defensive mistake, but one on offense too. That's a wasted possession and a goal given up. Not what you want to see out of Lightning. And now another one, Euronate with that 50-50. Doesn't even need to finish it off too. Takes the long goal. And once again, we see an opportunity for Lightning is just squandered and then turned the other way to give it to Shadow.
And this is what I'm talking about, right? You gotta respect your opponent's potential to make these kinds of plays. You have to realize that Euronate's gonna be able to make those reads. When Magnus goes to that initial challenge, obviously he's behind the ball now. He can't do much about it if it goes the other way. So if you're Soft, you gotta think about that. If I go to hit this ball right now and Euronate dunks me, what's going to be the outcome? And obviously, it turns into a goal again. So you have to think about that before you're going for that ball. You're not giving your opponents enough respect in the situation. I want to see those gears turning, thinking to yourself like, well, maybe I won't go for this because I feel like the opponent's going to get a real good upper hand. And this is the exact situation that I'm talking about. Magnus dove at that ball. Boy just pushed it right past him, and Soft isn't in position to make the play.
Yes, you're exactly right, hitting the nail on the head. Lightning so eager to get those challenges. I feel like they're just throwing themselves into opportunities they should just back off on. Like they're putting all their chips on the table. It's a good risky play, but not always the best whenever you're so close to the ball and your 50-50 is not going to be the cleanest. And that's happened for the past 3 of the 5 goals from Shadow.
Yeah, I was about to mention actually the last 3 of 5. Definitely not something you want to hear. Magnus with a bump on the last man, and Soft can't get it through. Needed Magnus in that striking position. Unfortunately, they're going to try and keep it in the zone here. Magnus with the 50-50, also another one. Get it into the corner. Soft now for the shot on it. It's it! The Lightning strike one back. It's 5-3.
I don't know how that one is in. My goodness. They have so much mechanical skill able to hit shots like these. I think that's the second angle that's almost exactly like we saw in game number 2. Exactly from Soft as well. From the right side, hitting it high enough above the defenders, but not hitting the crossbar. Shallow angle. He hits those. But again, yeah, he hits those. But again, if they can make those, I feel like What? Wait, that was a flip reset? Let's
Now,
just watch this.
See,
Just,
this
hold on, let's just
is
watch
the
this.
question. Does this count as a flip reset if he didn't actually hit it after getting the flip?
I think he kept it up enough so that Shadow was pushed back and they gave him enough respect for the flip reset, and then it just went in.
Yes.
I don't know what this turnaround has been, but Soph is popping off this game. 4 goals for his team all by him. And now all those mistakes we saw might not mean a whole lot if they can get a one more in here.
Oh my Magnus, are you... Alright, if there's anything you need to know about the Lightning defense, that's it. That's all you need to see. Sign them with whoever right now, because that was insanity. Very risky, and Magnus did have to scramble back for it, but they made the save, and that's all that matters. But I feel like for the Shadow, waiting for that flip reset may have just been a little too much respect. So on the other side of the spectrum of respecting your opponents, there's always a fine balance. But for the Lightning, there's still plenty of time. 43 seconds is a monumental period of time to score 1 goal in Rocket League. This one gets past Void. Urinate has to wait on this one. This is a great pop. Magnus is in the air. He can make this shot. It's on target, but Urinate is there. Some better positioning might have been nice, but getting the shot on target is important as well. We want to make sure he had that. They'll be in the blue half right now. Great boost steal from Urinate. No touch there from Magnus. Will fall down to Soph. He's been playing so well this game. You mentioned it, looking for another goal right here. Couldn't get it past Void. Magnus going to keep it in play. Potential for a redirect. It's crossing the goal line, and it will go through. 8 seconds left, and the Lightning tie it up.
That's the 5th for Soph, and the 3rd in the last minute. They needed all 3 of these. 8 seconds left. We're tied up. It looked like there was no hope we were going to go to Game 5. But now Lightning have a little bit more breath. They've got one more last hurrah. We might see overtime and maybe even a series win from the 32nd seed Lightning.
Oh no. Not on target. Soph, no touch there! Oh my goodness, if Void had read that, he might have been able to score, but we're in overtime. That was a close call. If I've ever seen one. Did not want to concede off that kickoff goal, but now this one will be in their favor. Void has the hit, and we're, oh my goodness, we almost started right off the bat. This one's going to be just off the mark, so we'll hit it just to be certain. The Shadow not wasting any time trying to get shots on target here. To the midfield line, Void's going to keep this one under his control. Magnus to challenge, good touch right there, but it's into the midfield line. Soph has to respect that touch, and he will do exactly that. Urinate couldn't get it past him. Off the ceiling, looking for some territory now. No boost left in the tank. They want this ground, Magnus. Touch that one up high. This could be very dangerous. Urinate up for the ball. It looks like it's on target. It's off the crossbar. Void for the shot. Can't finish it off. It's off the post and away. And that is a thank your lucky stars moment for the Lightning. They're looking the other way now. Soph can't put that one on target. Plenty of pressure, though. Immediately on the counterattack. You love them being ready for that transition.
That was an opportunity squandered. It's got to be a shame for Shadow. I mean, they got to get their heads back in the game, say, hey, we got another opportunity. That's just one opportunity. We have plenty of those against this Lightning team, but we can't be missing those open nets like that. It's only one goal that matters in this space, and at this point, Shadow's on their last life, so they're making every opportunity to stay alive in this series.
They are indeed. Good delivery from Urinate over to Void, but too easily readable, and a great 50-50 from Soph. This leaves a lot of open space for Magnus. Big boom downfield. This will be very favorable. Does he have the read? He does! Magnus! No, not quite in! He's made so many small mechanical errors, but that would have been a shining moment. Unfortunately, couldn't put it on target. And now they're rushing back the other way. A nice touch up high. And is this the comeback of Magnus? Will he get his first goal of the game? It would be an interesting story indeed. Could not get that one on the double tap. It's been a high-flying, high-light play for sure. As we approach 2 minutes of overtime now. The Lightning looking to keep this attack up. Magnus will toss into his own corner, opting for possession instead of offense. Touch up high. Void going to turn on this one. Shot just outside the net. That double tap won't help either. Leaves Soph with the boost. Uronate's the last man back. He's going to have to force this to the side. We'll get a touch. It's towards the net. Magnus is going to have this. No, he gets bumped out of the way, but will get in the way of Urinate. Great vision in order to get that one away. This one's up high from Void. And right now for the Lightning, they really need a breakout or a reset would work them wonders. And here's Magnus to take it over. Into the black corner. Demo from Magnus. Great play right there. Soph will be able to make the 50-50 as a result. Drop to the midfield line. Shadow looking to take control. Out of the corner. Void looking for a shot angle. Easily met by Soph. Earns himself a Savior medal, this third Savior medal, I might add. But now this is a great opportunity. Urinate up high, Soft with almost no boost. The touch away. Void's right there, but he can't get in the air for it. Must have been no boost in the tank. We passed 3 minutes of overtime, and a second incredibly close call for the Lightning. Just narrowly averted.
Soft, man. He used all his boost to get back, and then he hoped that the opponent didn't place it high enough. Just went for a backflip, able to pop that one high enough. Lightning escaping by the skin of their teeth over and over. All they're doing at this point is surviving and hoping for that one opportunity to get their 6th goal on the board.
That was a close call from Void. Almost got it around Soft. Now off his own backboard. Urinates in the air for a toss. And it's outside the post. Magnus has to make the touch. He's able to do exactly that. Another close call for the Lightning. Chance here. The Shadow will interrupt that fast with Urinate. Soft, no touch right there. Urinate for the goal, and Magnus can't make the save. We have game 5.
If there's a clutch up moment, you should call up Urinate right here. Almost 4 minutes left in the game on their last life, and Shadow stays alive. We're at a 2-2 series. Shadow taking the pass to this one much closer, though. We see 3 unanswered. The comeback by Lightning. That was an amazing show. We see 5 goals for Lightning, all by Soft. That was just a spectacular performance. He wished he had gotten the double hat trick to seal the win for his team, but Shadow's going to have to clutch up in the last, in the 4 minutes of overtime is how long that was. That was quite a long time, and 11 goals total. So even for 2v2, that's quite a bit. We saw all offense, not a whole lot of defense on either side. But we talked about it all game, and you know exactly what I'm going to say. It just seems like 2 polar opposite teams whenever you talk about pressure, aggressiveness, and space given. Lightning challenging everything in Shadow. I'm seeing so many opportunities in that overtime alone that they could have pushed that Lightning defense and then gotten that goal much, much sooner. Except they respected them. They played back a lot more, and there were so many opportunities that they gave, just handed to Lightning, that they weren't able to quite put in whenever they could have just pushed it, kept possession, and then closed out that overtime in probably under a minute.
All right, man. I mean, yeah, all that is completely valid. Of course, the Shadow did have plenty of opportunities that I noticed they didn't necessarily want to commit for. Respecting your opponents is definitely important, but you know, sometimes you just gotta throw and see what you can get. You know, it's a dice roll sometimes. But we didn't talk enough about Soft, because with 5 goals and 9 saves on 7 shots, with a grand total of 1,556 points, I think that might be the highest point total I've ever seen in a match that's not a solo duel. So kudos to you, my good sir. We'll have to see if the Lightning can ride that kind of momentum to victory here in game number 5, the decider of this series. Magus has switched over to the Merc, and honestly, my eyes are on him, because if he can start playing at the level that Soft can, then we suddenly have a very different game, my friend. Like, this is turning into a Lightning victory 10 times over.
If you get 2 teammates scoring 5 goals each, I think even if you just leave the net open, you're not going to be able to score 11.
As a general rule, yes. And here's Soft with a flick over top of Urinate. Have the lead first, and the Lightning coming out strong.
Yeah, there it is. Soft, once again, keeping that momentum from game 4, carrying it over. Great ball control as well. There's not a whole lot you can do in that case. Comes off the wall, catches it on his hood, and gets the flick. He seems like fire is coming off of his tires right now. Simply amazing gameplay coming out from one of the teammates from Lightning.
Say fire coming off his tires. Balance team wearing Dracos. Magnus, oh no! Thought he had to save there for a second. I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't meant to be.
I think he was a little used to driving that Dominus, knowing the car was a little longer, could have gotten his nose on it. But the Merc, a little bit shorter and stubbier. Got a touch, but wasn't far enough to the right. Instead, bounces off the post and goes in. Unfortunate for the Lightning team, but we're still tied up. They're still very much in this game. But right now, Shadow looking for that reverse sweep.
Oh, and a huge... Oh, my goodness. What a play. Wow. Urinate just blasted that one downfield, and Void instantly knew what was going on there. He took Soft out of that play, basically not even a second after that ball was touched.
It's a shame we didn't get to see it as well, because it was all Urinate in the replay, but we know Void was the crucial part in that. There's a reason that net was open. Urinate popped it up and settling it, taking the easy shot on net. But as the Lightning, you always got that one-man back, but whenever he's demoed, that aggression from Shadow coming out strong here for them in Game 5. It might make the difference as well if it's going to remain this close.
Personally, I don't feel like any of the Shadow demos have been without incredible purpose end result. So far, all of their physical plays have been phenomenal. But they still have 3.5 minutes of gameplay behind them, and here we go. Soft demos one as a do that. Very nice play. Just gonna do it all by himself.
Yeah, Soft once again. What's surprising? Sees the slow play by the defender, says, "I'll take that ball, thank you very much," and then dribbles it right on his hood. The second hood play from him. It's going to be 2 goals for Soft. Seems like a one-man show at this point. Magnus, though, in the mark, going to want to come out strong as well. It's a 2-man game, so he going to want to come up clutch for his team if they want to get this win and seal the series. We've got 3 minutes of gameplay. It's anyone's game at this point.
To be fair, when you have a legend like Soft on your team, I'm not really certain if you really need to play in a great capacity. You just need to be there as a solid rock, and he's able to get back for that save. A clutch play right there to keep them tied up. In game number 5, gonna launch that one all the way to the black back wall. Now towards center from Void. Soft is gonna be there to meet it. Onto the back wall. Does he have the read? And not before Urinate, but it's still in the zone. Magnus might be able to get up for this one. He's just a moment too late. As Void will shove it off to the side, looking to start up the shadow on offense. A great demo from Urinate, getting it around the last man as well. Void has the open net to shoot at.
There's the second demo and the second shot, turning into the third goal. Urinate getting the pass and the demo. I'm not sure how intentional it was, but the pop over the defender was what did it. There to Void, no second man back, so we see Shadow taking the lead once again. This time they're wanting to hold on to it.
Oh, Magnus, what a fake! Oh my god. Coming in clutch. This is what we're talking about. This is the Magnus that we need to see. Been a little bit of a sleeper all series long, but he comes through when it matters. That is the way.
It's what he's been looking for the past, I think, 10 minutes. That overtime lasted a while. You haven't seen him score a goal in quite some time, but what a way to do it off the kickoff. The fake and then the just dish in. Well done. The solo play all by Magnus. A little bit of redemption story right there, and now we're tied up. We're back in it. Both of these teammates coming in clutch for their team, and now we're seeing, I think, the best Rocket League out of the past 5 games.
Maybe so. Lightning, they're back in blue. They're not, obviously, the Shadow are in black. What did you expect me to say? Unfavorable 50-50 here from Soft. Magnus will force this one to move off to the side. Here we go, Void. Shot. Great placement. Up off crossbar. No way! Urinate will push it through. How did this not go in? I was so ready to call something else and I almost... Oh, my goodness.
Void, what a shame. Put it high enough for Soft not to save, but Urinate there to finish it off. Shame it hit that crossbar. It even went halfway in, but popped out. The credit's going to go to Urinate, give him the hat trick, but I'd say Void should be credited with that one. Good rotation, though, having that second man back to finish off that shot. And Shadow, it seems like every time Lightning are back in it, that's just one more goal for Shadow to add.
Oh, a huge mistouch there from Magnus. Urinate has everything to shoot at there. Big misplay, and I think you mentioned it. You really hit it on the head. Lightning, whenever they score a goal, just seems to go straight back to the Shadow. This time, paid double, but there's a minute and 51 left. We'll have to see if they can bring it out. Magnus came out strong with that solo play earlier on. Now it's time for some high-flying dynamic from both of these players to try and bring this one back. They want this series win so badly, but we're looking at potential reverse sweep. Soft. Out of his own side, gets bumped a little bit right there. Again, another impactful bump play from the Shadow. No touch towards the net there from Urinate. Magnus would have been there to meet it. No flick either. Void looking for a bump play there, couldn't find it. Soft to Magnus, to the midfield. They're not playing up enough on that ball. They're just trying to get their offense set up here. Urinate with a long clear. Looking for the back wall. An effective demo. Void is out of the play now. So much space for Soft to work with here. Had 50 boosts in the tank, but Void with a favorable respawn. We'll send that all the way downfield. Now miscommunication from both their players. I thought that was going to be in, but Soft was there. Keep it away. Lightning approaching the final minute of gameplay now. They need one right now. Here's a shot on Urinate. We'll be able to get it away. Magnus, the last man back for Lightning. He will challenge this one. Drops down into the midfield. Soft might have a shot opportunity. It's towards the net. Void gonna stop it out, but Magnus has a great potential right here to the left side. Plants it behind the goal line. 45 remain.
And consistency coming in whenever Magnus needs it. Great shot by Soft. Even better save by Void, but Magnus able to follow it up before that second defender got to the back of the net. It needed power and accuracy, and that's what Magnus did. Puts in his team back into this one. We've got 45 seconds left, and it's a 1-point game. Leaving the door wide open for that 0-second goal. anything can happen. But Shadow, what a response. They needed that security goal, held on to it for a few minutes, and now it's right back to a 2-point deficit.
I hate to do this, but I'm calling out Soft on this one. Went for the long rotate to grab the boost. Could have been in front of the goal line in order to get that save, but I don't think he saw the play developing as it happened. And a huge goal against as the Shadow looked to close this one out in regulation. As we approach the final half minute. The Lightning on the defensive end. This is a favorable clear. Magnus underneath this ball. One man to beat. Going for the high touch. Urinate. Bad touch right there, but Void will be there to meet it. Very quick on that ball. The Shadow keep it out of their net for just a second. And that's all that they need. The final 10 rapidly approaching off the corner wall. Soft looking for the center. Void with a huge touch, but Soft with a great dunk. Going for the bump. No, actually hits it up high. And that's going to do it for the game. The final seconds tick off the clock. And Soft was trying to set up his teammate and ended up ruining the whole play. The Shadow complete the reverse sweep in the Lightning. Their first 2 wins of the season. So at least there's that. But when you have it that close, and I mean, Soft, think of his MVPR for this series has to be incredibly high.
Oh yeah, his points and his shots and saves. We saw a double savior medal from Soft. This game. Triple savior medal. Well, he's got 6 saves.
This game we saw that. I thought you were referencing before. I didn't even realize, but yeah, you're right. A double savior medal this game. A triple savior medal last game.
It's incredible. He's just all over the field. Magnus coming up a lot more in this game than we've seen in the last one. So great job on them. But Shadow still able to get the win, 6-4, and like you said, reverse sweep time. Lightning getting the first 2 wins, so that's a little bit of morale boost, and I don't think they can ask a whole lot, especially from the number 4 team in MLE. So well done by both teams. But Lightning, they finally break their streak. They're at a 2-14 or 2-15, and Shadow get the win with this spectacular 3-2 over Lightning as we finish this first series in primetime Saturday.
Got some close stuff, but that's going to close out the Champion League. For now, we'll be back with more of them later. But next up, we got the Academy League Pirates playing off against the Outlaws. You won't want to miss it. This has been the MLE. We'll be right back with more Rocket League. Make sure you don't go anywhere.